All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan. I'm going to start today's video by saying that doesn't need saying, but here we are. I absolutely condemn those people who go out of their way to attack people, harass people, just because of who they are. You got to understand that most of these people who we are struggling to get along with are also victims of their own circumstances. A lot of them did not choose to be born where they were born. A lot of them actually came here on their own accord, but didn't realize that they are incompatible with the country that they have moved to. So they're also going through their challenges and are acting out. However, that doesn't excuse that behavior. But what doesn't excuse our behavior is to go out of our way and start harassing people. If you see a hijabi woman, you should never think about harassing her. If you see an ordinary Muslim man, you should never think about going up to him and harassing him. I have often said that the West is the greatest civilization humanity has ever come up with. And I can assure you that when I think of civilized people, that's not what I imagine. And I do know that the most people who do listen to me, they actually think like this themselves as well. With that out of the way, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't ask uncomfortable questions. Questions like, why is there one particular community that is constantly struggling to find its place to fit in Western society?
If the West feels so sorry for the Israeli Zionists, why don't they give a place in Germany? Why don't they go to Hitler's back garden and make an occupation there? Then they will know what kind of people these are. Why every so many hundred years the Zionists get slaughtered? Because Hitler knew how to deal with these people. They probably made a program so they can create a state of Israel in the expense of Palestinian Muslims' blood.
Why are we seeing these rising tensions between Westerners and Muslims? Why are we seeing more and more desecrations of the Quran or vandalization of mosques, but not of Hindu temples or Sikh gurdwaras, or even the synagogues, who historically used to attract a lot of hate themselves? Now, obviously, again, I am not endorsing this behavior, but ignoring that question is not going to get us anywhere. It is perfectly okay for the government to not expect any violence from the patriots, but it is also okay for the government to hear what the patriots are asking for. Western societies can no longer pretend that everything is okay. It's just racism. It's just bigotry. It's just because people are not comfortable with people who look different. That is not true. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I have actually seen a lot of videos, about 3 videos in just last 24 hours, where Westerners were confronting ordinary Muslims and telling them things like, your days are numbered, you are not British, etc. As I said before, we need a political solution. You don't need to individually go out to individuals and harass them. That's not a civilized behavior. We do need a political solution, and the governments will listen to us, because this has been going on for way too long. Listen to this Aussie Muslim. Listen to what he's saying. He himself is admitting that Australia is not his country. Have a listen.
Please keep away from Bondi Beach. We've had enough. You know what? We'll do that. The moment you keep out of Palestine, Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Libya, Algeria, Bosnia, Sudan, Somalia, when you stay out of our countries, stay out of Asia.
Our countries. If that is your country, then what are you doing here?
Stay out of the Middle East. Stay out of Africa. All right, stay out of our countries because we've had enough. And then we'll stay out of Bondi.
I have often said that these people are victims of their circumstances as well. It's very difficult for these ABCD kids, Australian born, confused, desis is a word for Indians and Pakistanis. They can't find their place. They don't know where they fit. They're neither in Pakistan or Bangladesh, nor they are in Australia or Britain or America. They're struggling, they're confused. You see how he referred to Muslim countries as our countries and not Australia as his own. I have the same ethnicity as him, albeit I'm much better looking, but I see Australia as my own country. I have often said that I wasn't born here, but I'll die here. Why was his gut reaction was not that Bondi Beach is my beach? It's because he sees himself as Muslim first. That's the reason why. Now, a lot of Westerners ask that, what kind of a Muslim? Now, I know there are light-hearted Muslims, Muslims who don't take their religion seriously, but that's a pretty dangerous odd to bet on, because It's like a switch. It can turn on any minute. A Muslim who doesn't pay any attention to what's written in the Quran and the Hadith, yeah, that's what we call a good Muslim. He's busy with worldly affairs. That's a good Muslim. But theologically speaking, he's actually a bad Muslim. Anything can happen at any point in his life when he's going to start taking the Quran and the Hadith seriously. And then he's going to start looking at all of you, infidels, as his enemies. Don't believe me? Let me play you a video. This video should open your eyes. Now, this is an old video. It was recorded in Oslo, Norway. And, you know, certain Islamic traits are universal. These traits, you find them across the board, no matter which Muslim country they are originally from. These traits that I'm a Muslim first, my first and foremost loyalty is to Islam and the Muslim community. And then I'll see if I can be useful to a Western country. This is the reason why there's a huge difference between Indian and Chinese. No matter which country they go to, they become the top earners. And Muslims, they're always at the bottom because they're not interested. They're more interested in free welfare. Now listen to this guy. Who is a good Muslim and who is a radical Muslim?
Everyone in the room. How many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists. You're not radical. Just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands.
Everyone.
Everybody, mashallah.
Everyone's a normal Muslim. We're good Muslims.
SubhanAllah. Okay, take down your hands again. How many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind. And that is what we should apply in the world. Who agrees with that?
Stoning for adulterers, throwing homosexuals off rooftops, wife beating if she disobeys you, amputating hands, not only of thieves, but also those who spread fitna against Islam, such as me. I would be classified as someone who spreads fitna. So my hands and feet have to be cut from opposite ends. So if my right hand is cut, then my left foot should be cut along with it, and vice versa. And because I am an apostate, I should be killed just for arriving at a wrong conclusion that there is no God, Muhammad is not his prophet. And if I blaspheme, if I say something against Muhammad or the Quran or Islam, I should be killed. There's no debate on these punishments in Islam. Every single Muslim knows about this. You as a Westerner would look the other way if you read a passage from Deuteronomy or Leviticus, what to do about a bride who is not a virgin. Take her to her father's doorstep and stone her to death. Most Westerners would say, ooh, that's a bit harsh. I don't think we should do this. But not Muslims. How many people agree with that? With Quranic prescribed punishments. How many Muslims agree with that? Everyone.
Allahu Akbar. Are you all radical extremists? SubhanAllah.
So many of them. They don't even have beards.
All of you.
I'm sure if you saw him walking down the street, you'd be like, he's a nice Muslim. Doesn't look like one of those Talibans. These are very uncomfortable questions to ask. And if my government or any other government official is watching this, ask yourself this question. How are we supposed to live with these people? And when one of them acts out, you say, hey, it's just the radical Muslims.
You are saying that you are common Muslims, you all go to the different masajid Norway, or is it, are you like a specific sect, like the Islam net sect or anything like that? Are you like that? No. Is it, are you like that? Please raise your hand if you like this extreme Islam net sect or anything like that. No one. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway, the normal Sunni mosques? Please raise your hands.
So every mosque that they go to, this is another distinction. I know Drew Pavlov made a petition, and I made you sign that petition about that guy Wasim Haddad who inspired the Bondi Beach terrorists. I asked you to fill out that petition and in order to shut down that ISIS recruitment factory. By the way, that mosque has been shut down today, but not because of the reasons you think. It's been shut down because there was some irregularity with council paperwork. That was the reason. But anyway, good riddance. I don't know. They might come back or might not. But a Muslim just goes to a mosque. They do look at, is this a Sunni mosque or a Shia mosque? That's it. In the West, even if it's run by Albanians or Afghans or Central Asian, they don't care. They go to any mosque. So all mosques should be treated as extremist factories because they're just talking about Islam. As you said, they're just talking about Islam. They're talking about, well, these infidels, these evil Westerners, look at them. Their family system is destroyed. They are not making babies because they let go of God. But look at us. MashaAllah, we make so many babies because we haven't let go of our Allah. This is not taking pride in their own abilities. This is coming at your expense. That breeds hatred. The kind of video that I played at the start, that young Muslim born and raised in Australia is more concerned about Bangladesh, Palestine. I don't know, I name some countries. The West is not even responsible for them, but more interested in that. He said, another point that I wanted to make on that I forgot. These people don't understand that this is not negotiable. You don't have a choice to make demands. When push comes to shove, by push comes to shove, I'm not talking about ordinary people doing it. When there is a political decision made that all extremists who talk like this, who themselves are saying that those are our countries and this is not my country, why are you living here? Then you need to go back. Root out or boot out. Root out extremism. And by extremism, I mean, I don't know, this is it. This is standard Islam. I mean, even if we try to be polite with these people, we just can't. They themselves say that this is who they are. So remember the point that I made at the start. Every Muslim that we perceive as a good Muslim is a Muslim who doesn't take Islam seriously. That's what it is. Nothing more than that. Look at this Muslim. He's also an Aussie.
My brothers and my sisters in Islam, victory is coming. And you and I, inshallah, because we love Allah and we love His Prophet, we are on that path to victory. We are on that path of the civilizational struggle where we're going to see Islam dominate, where we're going to see Islam bring about justice.
He's not talking about Israel versus Palestine. He's not talking about India versus Pakistan. He's talking about the civilizational struggle between the West and Islam. He's an Aussie. I mean, he's speaking with Australian accent. I'm sure he doesn't see himself as an Australian. If he did, he wouldn't be talking like that, or at least he wouldn't be on the side of Islam. That's what they're talking about. Highly deluded. I think they can be slapped into reality very quickly. It can happen, don't get me wrong. I don't think that these guys have any chance to overthrow Western democracies. Zero, next to zero. But they can be a huge nuisance, as they are proving to be right now. This is what they have been doing. Look at this. Just provocation. So this is Denmark. And they've got a Christmas tree. Okay? And look at Muslim. Why? By the way, I endorse this. I endorse this, by the way. That's perfectly fine. This guy is doing that because this Muslim, why is he blaring the Quran? Why? Why? Right next to a Christmas tree. Why are you doing that? These people think that they have some sort of power. They don't. You're only taking advantage of the good nature of these Westerners, but these people are growing. These people are growing. What's the point of this? This happened earlier this month in Belgium, a Christmas market. The decapitated baby Jesus from the nativity scene.
The baby Jesus was decapitated at a nativity scene, then stolen overnight after a pro-Palestine mob gate-crashed Brussels Christmas markets and chanted Hamas slogans in the street.
It's this behavior. Hindus are not doing this. Buddhists are not doing this. Look at this. This was another Christmas market in France, blaring the Quran again.
هذا في السونتر فيل تاع تولوز هادي خويا في السونتر فيل تاع تولوز
Guys,
الغناء تاع البلاد يدور
at a Christmas market, they're playing Arabic songs. Why? Why? No respect? When it's not the Quran, then it's Arab music? Why? So this is the reason why, again, now I don't endorse this, but I have to report on this. This is the reason why things like these are happening. This happened in front of a mosque in Sweden. A copy of the Quran was chained to the railing leading up to the mosque. A sticker attached to it read, "Thanks for the visit, but it's time to go home." This is not happening to a Hindu book or a Buddhist book or even to Talmud. So this guy is making it a race issue. And of course, Islam is not a race, to which I've said, you do know there are thousands of white Muslims too. Again, I'm not endorsing this behavior, but I'm reporting this behavior. This is happening. Now, you must ask, if this is how they are behaving in Western countries where they are going to Christmas markets, blaring the Quran on loudspeakers, decapitating Jesus, harassing Christmas market goers, ordinary Christians, what do they do in their own countries? This is what they do in their own countries. A mob burned several churches. I think this was, by memory, I think it was about 13 churches in Pakistan. 50,000 Christians killed in Nigeria. Church destroyed in fire in Bangladesh. It's the same everywhere. I was looking at, I think there were some churches burned in Malaysia as well. Malaysia, that we think that is a country filled with good Muslims, and the definition of good Muslims you already know. That's the reason why people are standing up. Now, again, as I said, please do not take matters into your own hands. We have to reach a political solution to this, and there will be a political solution. They're shooting themselves in the foot. As our temperature rises, their temperature is going to rise too, and they will do what they do best, violence. So the Australian government is planning to crack down. There are some free speech concerns. I don't know. I really haven't made up my mind what's going to happen. Yes, we shouldn't lose our speech just because an Islamist decides to start killing people. We shouldn't pay any price. We shouldn't lose our guns. I mean, I don't have a gun, but, you know, Australian farmers and Australian hunters shouldn't lose their guns because an Islamist decided to go around and start killing people. So we are going to see more and more of these tensions between Muslims and Westerners. But it is no time to sweep this problem under the carpet. It is time to recognize that there is a problem in the Muslim community, especially in the West. They do whatever they do in... Oh, actually, let me show you. I thought about making a separate video to this, but I'll tell you now. Just a couple of days ago, a Hindu man... I'm not going to play the video because it's too violent. This Hindu man that you're looking at, he was accused of committing blasphemy. So he was arrested by Bangladeshi police. He was pleading for his life here. He was saying, I haven't committed any blasphemy. I haven't said anything. Reports say that he said that no religion is above humanity or something like that. Very benign statement. I don't know. That's besides the point. You know the people who raised their hands before in the video who said that, yes, any punishment that is prescribed by Allah and his messenger, we fully stand behind that. That is it in action. Because Muhammad said that kill those who blaspheme. Muhammad killed many blasphemers himself. Muhammad let go of people who killed blasphemers on their own accord without going to a judge. So when he was taken to a police station, a mob drags him out of the police station and the police does absolutely nothing. And a few minutes later, there's another video where he is brutally murdered by a mob. Obviously, I can't play that video to you. I posted that on my Twitter. I'll include the link in the description. Anyone who has the stomach to go and watch it, go watch it. You'll see humanity at its absolute lowest. He said some words, apparently. I sincerely doubt he would have used half the words that we use. And how uncivilized are we? Do we deserve to be killed, brutally lynched by a mob over this? These people believe, yes. Those people that you looked at, they were in Oslo, in Norway. They said, yes, we believe in all these punishments. Just because every Muslim doesn't do it, because he also has survival instincts, he has this sense of self-preservation, it doesn't mean that one day he's not going to go like, you know what, fuck it. Kind of like what the Bondi Beach terrorists did. Why are we being forced to live with these people? Why? So I foresee this. I don't see them winning. I really don't. This is not the overly optimistic person in me saying this. I genuinely believe that you cannot hijack a society as great as the West. You can't. Countries, societies, civilizations are built over many generations. You can't come in and say, hey, you know what? We've got this. It's ours now. I believe we are reaching a tipping point in the history of our civilization. more and more people are waking up. More and more people are saying, no, enough is enough. Because at the end of the day, we are all humans. We all want to live comfortable lives. And when we think that our lives, our way of life is under threat, everyone drops everything and they focus on that. I think that's where we're going. People who are not politicized are becoming more and more politicized now because there is this growing sense of decay or extinction. People genuinely feel that they're going extinct. Every other culture is allowed to preserve its way of life, but it's only the Westerners who are not allowed to preserve their way of life. And the best argument they give, oh, well, they don't know how to make good food. You know, fish and chips for Britain and Australia doesn't even have that. Is that a good enough reason to abandon your civilization? I don't think so. But chin up, guys. We have moral high ground. And as I said, we don't have to go down to their level. They are going to provoke. We are going to see more and more clashes. But at least I can only talk for myself. And I hope that people who listen to me value my opinion. There is a political solution to this. We don't have to do anything stupid. I run into hijabis every day. I treat them just like anyone else. I give them a smile. I hold the door for them. I don't look at any individual as an enemy. This is a civilizational struggle. This is a genuine struggle. This is a genuine question that people are asking. And it's not only just for our sake, but also for their sake. The guy that I played you earlier, he's genuinely confused. He doesn't know where he belongs. He's referring to Bangladesh and Palestine as his country, yet he's born and raised here. He doesn't see Australia as his country. So there will be a political solution.